Everybody knows that Van Gogh painted sunflowers, cut off his ear, and is famous for Starry Night. Hi, my name is Josephine and welcome to the Van Gogh Gallery. I've tried to say his last name properly even though I'm American and grew up saying Van Gogh, so sorry if I butchered it, but I will be trying to be as accurate as possible in my videos. But actually in general I'm just going to be calling him Vincent for most of the things just because it's simple and I think everybody will understand. Today I'm going to be talking about 4 facts you probably didn't know about Vincent's paintings, so let's get started. The first painting I'm going to be talking about is Starry Night, no doubt if not the most famous painting by Vincent. This work was painted in 1889 when he was living in the asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence in the south of France. He made this in June of that year. Surprisingly, he thought this painting was a failure. In a letter to Emile Bernard, he wrote,
"However, once again I'm allowing myself to do stars too big, and see, new setback, and I've enough of that."
It's important to say that Vincent's younger brother Theo was also not impressed with this painting, which actually made Vincent feel obviously less optimistic about this painting, and he actually had to defend himself a little bit in his letters against his own brother about this painting. It's probable that Vincent disliked this work because it was done by memory. He was an artist who painted from what he saw in front of him. He always had trouble painting from memory and argued about this when he was living in the Yellow House with the painter Gogh. The next painting I'm going to talk about is Self-Portrait Without Beard. This was painted not too long after Starry Night in August of the same year. The portrait was supposed to be a birthday gift for his mother, as it was her birthday in September. As you can see on the screen, I've included a photo of Anna. The interesting fact about this painting is that he painted himself to look like he was healthy and that he was taking care of himself, when that wasn't the case. In fact, at this time he was struggling very much and was recovering from one of his mental attacks that he had suffered in July. During his attack, he wasn't able to paint or even leave his room. If you look at the portrait, you can see that he painted his ear back on also. He did this to not frighten his mother, who he had not seen for 4 years, since 1885. The third painting I'm going to be talking about is the portrait of Felix Ray, and that was painted in 1889, a few weeks after Vincent cut off his ear. Felix Ray was the artist doctor who treated him in Arles. As almost a thank you, Vincent painted his portrait in return for taking care of him. The doctor heavily disliked this painting and many years later in an interview said,
"When I saw that he outlined my head entirely in green, he had only 2 main colors, red and green, that he painted my hair and my mustache. I really did not have red hair in a blazing red on a biting green background. I was simply horrified."
The story then goes that Ray actually ended up using this work to patch up the chicken coop at his mother's house. Thankfully, the painting hangs in the Pushkin Museum today in Moscow, Russia, and is permanently there. Vincent is famous for his painting of shoes. He made several paintings in a 2 to 3 year period from 1886 to 1888. He started this when he was living in Paris and had been doing a lot of still lifes. It's remembered that he would go to flea markets and buy pairs of shoes that were supposedly too small for his own feet. He would then splash them in mud and get them dirty to give it a worn, realistic effect before painting them. So that's the end of the video. Thank you everybody for watching if you've made it this far. If you didn't know some of the facts, if you knew all the facts, or if you didn't know any, if you're interested, I would go check out my TikTok that goes by the same name as this channel. It's in my bio if you want to click the link. So thank you again and have a nice day.